So let me touch on a few things. First of all, we have here the King of Pentacles, okay, King of Crystals. And this is pretty much being in a situation where financially you've made it, okay? You're able to take care of yourself. You have disposable income. You can have enough money to do recreational things, taking a trip, going out, going to the movies, going out dining. You don't have to nickel and dime yourself. So this is a state of financial prosperity for many of you. And I feel like the work environment, it is very harmonious at this point. It's also very stable. So I feel that you're settling in, okay? Like you're able to, you don't have to worry, like, when is the other shoe going to drop? When am I going to get laid off? When am I going to, am I going to be able to make the bills? Am I going to be able to pay all the bills or pay all the expenses? I don't feel you are in dire strait in any way when it comes to your financial footing. But, once again, this is a general reading and a lot of people are watching this, and we also have cross watchers who are watching this, and we have like people who might be, especially I'm feeling, Scorpio moon people in particular. I feel that your finances and your financial standing and your professional life, it is very solid. It's very golden. And I feel that you're making quite a bit of money. Okay. And the reason that I say that, in particular, Scorpio moon, is we have here underneath it is the Six of Cups, which I generally associate astrologically. It is moon in Scorpio. And so right on top of that, with this King of Pentacles, it's indicative of stability, okay? Having a lot of financial abundance, having a lot of financial stability where you don't have to save up for a rainy day. You can spend all you want, but your bank account is not depleted, okay? So it's like making a lot more money than you're spending. A lot more is coming in than is going out. So this is a really, really good space to be. And for those of you whose finances or job prospects or even, career projects and things like that, if things have been a little bit shaky, I feel like the end of the February timeframe, we're going to transition into a lot more financial stability. So I just want to put that out there because I do want to relay the image that I saw here that came through, okay? So I don't know if there are a lot of people who are gamers, okay? But I saw an image of a video game. And I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the video game. But it basically involves this boy. He's a warrior. He looks very young. And there's a girl. She's like in spirit form. So she's kind of see-through and translucent. And so throughout the game, he has to rescue her. Okay. So throughout the game, he has to rescue her. And he's a warrior. He's athletic. So he's able to climb over cliffs and jump and things like that. But when he's with her, he has to help her down the cliff because, she's not strong. Like she's not as strong as he is. She's not used to it. I think she might have been a princess too. But it's like a role-playing game, and it's an RPG game, and that's all I remember from it. But when I saw that image, I was thinking about that video game. And so he jumps down into the cliff, and then he has to kind of like catch her when she jumps, or he has to like kind of like lower her onto the ground. So there's a series of like maneuvers that he's doing, and then all along the way, he's helping her. Okay, so when I first saw this, I was thinking about, one person being very able to do something and another person is not. So, but contrary to what we would associate with like a codependent relationship, I feel like this is a very caring, nurturing type of a connection where somebody is very considerate of the other person's needs, okay? And I feel like there might have been parts in the game. I believe that she's showing him where to go. So they kind of like, it's a symbiotic relationship. One person is lacking in something and the other person makes up for it. Okay, so it's like when one person's not able to do something, the other partner steps up. So I feel like there is a lot of mutual trust, a lot of like, I trust you enough to let you lead the way. Okay. I trust you enough to put my life in your hands. I trust you enough that if I jump down this cliff, you're going to be at the bottom to catch me. And, as a fixed sign, okay, You, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. As a fixed sign, we're very, very self-reliant. We pride ourselves on our independence and being able to take care of ourselves, being self-sufficient, not needing another person, and especially it makes us feel really uncomfortable to put our lives in somebody else's hands, right? Because we know ourselves really well. We know that our energy is fixed. When we say we're going to do something, we always follow through. And we don't trust a lot of people for that, in that regards, because, things change, people change. And so I feel throughout your life, many people have gravitated towards you, like friends, family members, lovers, because of your stability, because you are that anchor. When you say you're going to do something, they know you're going to follow through. And then they always the people might not have been completely 100% either physically stable, emotionally stable, or even financially stable. But you're like that rock. You're like that really stable fixture that is constantly in the landscape. And I feel for many of you, they imposed themselves upon you. So it's like your experience is colored by a series of relationship patterns and cycles where the people that approach you, they crave your stability because they did not have the stability in themselves. And so you were constantly, again, like without knowing, drawing them in. Or maybe they just, stuck they were sending out distress signals, and I feel like it stuck, and so they were drawing you to them. And so whatever the situation is, it was like, in the past, I do feel a series of codependent relationships where you guys were always the pillar of strength and stability for a partner, a parent, a sibling, friends even. And when the situation was reversed, when you're not able to do it, they were not able to be there for you. And so I feel like, it was codependent in the past, and it was like one person shoulder the responsibility of the relationship. Okay. And I feel, in any relationship, right, it's really nice to feel wanted and needed, right? To be able to take care of another person. But at the end of the day, if it goes on for years and decades, and if it's like unchecked, and if it's never reciprocated, who's going to take care of you? You're giving all of yourself, all of your energy, all of your resources, every piece of yourself to, that relationship partner, that situation. And then on days when you could no longer give, or on days when you're not feeling well and you have to step down, no one has really stepped up. And you're starting to realize that, through the friendships, through the family relationships, through the love relationships even. I feel like nobody was able to match the level of devotion that a Scorpio is capable of giving. Okay, that's just a fact. The Scorpio people are very, very deep, and you guys, I feel like emotionally, the depth of your emotion runs very, very, very deep, and at times it can really scare you. And especially for those of you Scorpio moon people, you feel things very deeply. And I feel almost like when you're in a relationship, you want to just wrap yourself up with the other person, melt together, become one. And it can feel a little bit scary for the other person. Okay. And then for the Scorpio sun, I feel like you wanted to feel wanted and needed and desired, and and so you do put up with a lot in relationships, but I do sense it was very tiring. It was taxing on you emotionally. Okay. Because rather than going through your life, what am I going to do? Where do I want my career to head towards? Where do I want to live? Where do I want to buy property? Where do I want to get a house? Or where do I want to, settle down and retire? Where can I invest my money? like all of the energy that you should have expended taking care of yourself, planning for your future, planning out your life, making these important decisions and really mulling it over, doing research, all of your waking hours are then focused on that codependent relationship. Does that make sense? So I feel like not only does it take from you energetically in the here and now, but it takes from you as well in the future, because all of your focus and your attention and the scope of everything you're dealing with is wrapped around the other person. Are they okay? Are they okay without me? Are they going to be okay tomorrow when I'm, at work? Are they going to be able to take care of themselves? So I feel like energetically you have, you might not have realized how it affected you long term and how it affected you physically. Does that make sense? So all of your energy was like siphoned off, okay? And every waking moment, I feel like you were concerned about somebody else. And then, when let's say you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, and when all of your friends, when all of your coworkers are thinking about, saving up for a property, saving up for a wedding, saving up for a new car, progressing in their career, and even like investing so that they can, have a really cushy retirement, your energy was not focused on these real life important decisions. And so I just want you to understand that it's really taking from you further into the future a lot more than you realize. And I hope that message, kind of sinks in, because I feel that you need to draw back, and I feel that you need to plan things out long term. Okay? And so I feel like there was, a series of toxic, codependent relationships in your past. Moving into this phase right now, the shoe's on the other foot. So for once, you're meeting somebody who's very willing to reciprocate. You're meeting somebody who, when you step down, they're able to step up. And it feels to me like, like the ground is shaking from under you for a little bit. And so when we're so used to being that anchor, and all of a sudden somebody else is, carrying that mantle, we're just like, well, what do I do now? I've always been the caretaker. I've always been the decision maker. I've always been the one that the other person relies on. And now the other person is taking over that role. Who am I? So a little bit of an identity crisis here for a few of you who have always taken care of other people. And now you're in a position where you can kind of coast. You can take it easy because your partner is really stepping up. And it feels a little bit unsettling. It feels a little bit scary. And in some ways, you're just like, wait a minute, can I really trust this? Can I really trust that, this is not just a temporary thing that they're pulling? Like 3 months from now, when, the puppy love or the infatuation wears off, are they going to turn nasty and sour? Or, how long, like, it's almost like it's too good to be true. How long is this going to last for me? Can I depend on this into my old age? Is it going to be like, is there a time limit? Is there an expiration date? Is it going to be 5 years, 10 years, and then I'm on my own? So I feel like because we're so self-sufficient, or because you guys are have worked at being very self-sufficient, that it's hard for you to be anything but. It's hard for you to take it easy. It's hard for you to trust that if they're no longer in the picture, do I need to rewire my brain to be self-sufficient, to take care of myself again? And so what I do feel here is a little bit of a identity crisis that you guys are having, because once again, when you are in relationships, I do feel that you guys get very wrapped up in it. And when you have a specific, skill set as well, when you do something, you tend to be very, very good at it. And that's what fixed signs are really about. They practice their craft, they hone their craft, and they aim to be the best, right? And so if someone tells you, wow, you're really dependable, you worked hard at it. You know, it didn't just happen overnight. It's not like a character trait. It's just like you worked hard at it because that was important to you. And so it becomes a part of your identity. And then now that you don't have to, you know, be on time, be punctual, be dependable, it's like a part of that identity is shifting and you're finding yourself trying to catch it. And I feel like in this situation, the universe is pretty much telling you, you know, take it easy. Take it easy, okay? All that intensity is, I feel like, is misdirected. And I feel that the advice here is take it easy. You're in good hands, okay? So going back to that image that I saw, one person helping another, climbing up cliffs, climbing up mountains, as well as descending cliffs and descending mountains. So there is definitely either a journey, a voyage that you and another person are fixing to embark on. Okay, so first of all, the cards are just echoing the same theme. We have here the Lovers, and underneath it says choice and trust. Okay, so there's definitely a love relationship that is blossoming, thriving, or at least I feel like love is coming for you, okay? And this is, I feel, a very strong spiritual connection between two people, okay? A spiritual connection doesn't mean that we have to get along. It just basically means, like, a lot of the times when we have ideals or things that we believe in, or like preferences even, we're very much in alignment. Like, we can agree on a lot of things. We can even agree on the big things and the little things. And so living together, working together, traveling together, and, you know, spending the rest of your life together, it's harmonious. Okay, so this is pretty much about finding your kind of like your soulmate, your twin flame, finding somebody who is a lot like you, and finding somebody who is willing to explore this new territory with you, okay? This is a very playful card, so it's contrary to the Rider-Waite, traditional Rider-Waite deck with the man and the woman and the angel. This card to me indicates a situation where it's very playful. There's a lot of passion too, but then I feel like in the spirit of exploration, what's lying ahead of us. I feel like, if anything, if you were to travel, if you were to go anywhere, if you were to explore new territories, if you were in a strange environment, this is somebody you want by your side. Okay? They know how to survive. They know how to get by. They know how to, I feel like, you know, they don't mind getting their hands dirty. Scorpios, I've mentioned before, out of all the signs, okay, you and Aries and Capricorns, you, Aries, Capricorn, I feel like, let me see, Sagittarius sometimes, it depends with Sagittarius, but I feel like you and especially Capricorn, you and Capricorn, I would say more than any of the other signs, you don't mind getting your hands dirty. If something needs to be done, you're not going to sit there and, you know, keep scores and like, you know, tit for tat, like, well, I did it last time, won't you do it this time? If something needs to be done, you roll up your sleeves and you get things done, okay? A lot of people can be very petty. It's like, you know, I did it last time. I don't want to do that. That's dirty. Why don't you do that instead? Okay? And a lot of people can be very calculating, even with the people that they love, to the point where it's like keeping scores. But I feel like with the Capricorns and with Scorpios, you don't do that, okay? Whatever that's hard, no one wants to do it, and it needs to be done. It needs to be done, right? So you roll up your sleeves, you get your hands dirty, and you get it done. And so I feel like you found a partner that is very similar to you, where they don't sit there and they don't try to pawn off the yucky stuff on you. You know, they get things done, okay? And so this is kind of like your ride or die. This is somebody who is who's going to take care of you to your old age. This is somebody who's like, you know, when you're no longer, young and attractive and, fit, like they're not going to leave you. If you're no longer have a full bed of hair, if you're no longer, youthful, they're not going to leave your side. So I feel like you have a really strong connection here